Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to another episode of Synth Geekery. This is the first one for 2023 for me, and it's really nice to have you all back. I do apologise for the break. It's been a big break. Excuse me whilst you're probably noticing that I'm sounding a bit nasally and throaty. I actually have COVID right now, so it'll be a shorter show because I don't know if I'm going to be as energetic as normal, but I'm pressing on. Nice to see people in the chat room already. We've got, I think Kent was first in, so he gets the yellow Guernsey. G'day, Kent. One of our channel members. Good supporter of the show and a damn fine fella. We've got Sean Johnson Music there. Big hello to you, Sean. And Bert's there. Big hello to you, mate. Nice to have you. Martin Taylor, same with you, mate. Nice to have you. Brooksy's there. And Lady Aptitude's there already. So we've got a few people. Steve Elbows is jumping in. So yeah, it's good to have everyone in so far. It's a very, very little boutique-y sort of show, this one, isn't it? So yeah. Now, you're just going to have to put up with me making clearing my throats and stuff. Now, what is this show about? If you've never ever joined us before, it's about synthesizers and drum machines, samplers, music technology, lots of stuff, like geeky sort of music stuff. Anyway, head on over to Ranzee.com when you finish the show. There's a whole bunch of blog articles and previous episodes on there. Now, if you ever want to know when the next show is on, just hit the link, if I get my mouse working, hit the link ranzee.com/live, which brings you to this page. And it will always show you the next show, which is currently this one. And you will always have a link to it. So there you go. It also has a link to Discord if you want to jump into Discord. Now, speaking of jumping into things, if you guys want to join us today, we do actually have me here. And we do have this thing called StreamYard. And you can jump onto StreamYard. We've been trying that out later last year. And it seemed to work okay. So jump into StreamYard. There's no one on there at the moment, I don't think. So sing out if you are jumping in. I think there's like 5 spots in StreamYard. So head on into there. Now, sorry about the background noise. I've got to have a fan on me because otherwise I will be dripping with sweat profusely, COVID related. And plus it's really hot here. It's like 30 something degrees in night time. It's crazy. Welcome to Australia. What else are we going to do? Today we're going to do a lot of stuff. We're going to try and jam it all into a shorter show so it's, hopefully you guys enjoy the fast pace of today. We have a couple of products to show on the show live, which is good, always good to see. Been actually dying to show you guys these because they actually came in over was it early January or something? It popped in. So yeah. That's going to happen. And as we speak, I think a few guests are appearing. I think Darren has shown up and he's probably going to check his mic. Darren, how are you, mate? Thumbs up.
Darren, can you hear me? Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear myself back.
I was going to say, how are you? But you've got the COVID.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Hang on, let me just turn this off.
Yeah. It's not too bad. It just hangs around like a nasty, and I just want it to piss off, to be honest.
There's quite a few people at work have had it really bad. It seems to be people seem to be getting the new variants and things, and I think it's just getting cross-contaminated with flu and all sorts.
It's just like having the flu. I mean, but it just hangs around a bit longer, I think. Some people are lucky. I think it just affects people differently. Excuse me. Right, so it's really nice to have you, mate, and I'm hoping that you had a good Christmas and New Year's, and we haven't actually checked in with that yet. So I know it's kind of heading towards the end of January, and we're still talking about Christmas and New Year, but I haven't seen you since before, so yeah.
Yeah, it's been a quiet one, I'd say, on our end. Nothing much really. Just a quiet Christmas, writing stuff. And a little bit of change around in the studio. You won't be able to see it because it's mainly down the bottom here. I've brought some. Oh, actually, you might be able to see some of it. I've brought the record decks down on the bottom level.
The techniques.
So just little bits.
Nice.
Just some little bits and a few bits on the side here, but nothing major, nothing to get all excited about.
Fabulous.
And then writing tunes, obviously.
Oh, awesome. And I'm just sort of having a little scan around and see if you've got other new gear there, but it looks like it's still pretty much the same stuff. You've just sort of moved a few bits and pieces about, haven't you?
Yeah, no new gear. No, that's dismal, isn't it? But maybe at some point a new computer, because at least they've released the new Macs.
Yeah, it's probably a good idea for you. Yeah, awesome.
Now,
now,
this is getting a bit...
That is going to be the topic of the show, actually, today. Let me see if I can get you into here. And there we go. We can talk to each other at the same time. Yay! So, yeah, for those who are watching in the chat, that is going to be the topic actually today, is 2023. I know we've almost hit a month in already, but... and we've had New Year's resolutions. We've probably broken them already, some of us. But what's the synth journey going to be for you guys in 2023? Have you got plans? Have you got ideas? Are you just sucking it and see how it turns out? So that's the topic, and just have a bit of a think about it, because we'll hit you guys up with some of your answers. Don't want them just yet, but that's a little precursor for you. Now, we do have StreamYard people turning up, and I think Chris has turned up in StreamYard, so we're going to scream across there. Just checking the audio on you there, Chris. Are you all good to go?
Yeah. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, I can. In fact,
good. I've got auto levels on.
If I shift you there, you'll just see. Oops, not that one. You will just see yourself, but everyone can see you full screen. Beautiful.
Yeah. G'day, Rant. How's it going?
I'm okay. I'm doing all right. I've got COVID at the moment. So
sound like you got the lurgy, have you?
Yeah.
Have you got the
C lurgy? Yes.
Bugger.
With a capital C.
Right.
See you next Tuesday, lurgy. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's all right. It'll do. Nice to have you, mate. I'll just pop you into that mode there, and I'll just keep an eye on, see if there's anyone else popping in. And we've got to pop over here.
Hi, Chris, by the way.
Oh, hey. Hi, Darren. How's it going?
Not too bad. Hi, Ian, as well.
Hello. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, Ian. I've just noticed that Ian's popped in. I am going to pop the StreamYard people in. Where are the StreamYard people? They are... God knows which one.
Happy New Year, everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year.
No.
Let's say New Year.
Yeah, Happy Year.
Yeah.
Happy times.
Yeah, sorry to hear about
Adequate
right,
New Year.
Yeah, it's all good. We as long as I'm not dying, as long as I don't die. But yeah, it's just this. It's a shit flu. That's what it is. It's a flu that just doesn't want to go away.
When did you start getting symptoms?
What's today? Saturday. Probably I've had it for about a week now.
Oh, bugger. Yeah. So did it disrupt your holiday plans, or? Okay.
I was away, and I didn't know I had it when I was away. And as soon as I got back, I tested, and I went, "Oh shit!" That explains why I didn't feel so good.
Yeah. Yep.
So yeah.
Oh well.
It was the tail end of the holiday, so it wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
I probably had the fever thing for about 4 days. That was probably all. It wasn't that bad actually. Everyone tells me the fever thing's the worst part. The fever thing wasn't that bad. Like, I tested my temperature a few times and it wasn't like insane. Like, it wasn't over 38 or anything crazy like that. So I think I coped okay through the fever part. The part that's got me now is just the sinus and the chest. Yeah, which always happens to me.
Yeah, it affects people differently, because I never even had a fever.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And the person at work never even had a fever, but they were absolutely floored. But no fever, just bad chest.
Yeah. Sometimes
memory,
the fatigue.
Or is that an excuse for the old age?
Yeah, like about 10 o'clock this morning, I just lay on the lounge, and the next thing you know, it was 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
I just literally passed out for an hour, and I've never done that before in my life. That was just weird. So there are some weird things. The taste thing got me as well. We were drinking coffee a couple of days ago, and it didn't taste like coffee. It tasted like something horrible. But coffee taste has come back, thankfully. So let's not talk about coffee.
So, the important things in life.
Yeah.
All right, keeping an eye on. If you guys do want to jump in to join Chris in StreamYard, that is the link again. I'll paste it into the chat so you can click directly on it. There it is again. Cool. What's the time? We're keeping track of the time. We're going to have to be very breezy today. In terms of guests, we've almost got everyone. I do believe Andy Synth Addict is the last one to come, and he hasn't probably woken up yet. So let's be wary that it's not quite 5 a.m. yet in his part of the world. Fantastic. Now, I did say briefly hello to all the chatties. So just quickly jumping in there again to say hello to all the chatties. Only a few of you in there at the moment. I do understand. I haven't had a show on for a bit over a month, so it'll probably take a while for people to realise that I'm back on again. Life's a bitch, and then you marry one. Right, okay. Just kidding.
I take it your wife doesn't watch this show then.
No, it was a joke. It wasn't aimed at her at all. Okay, so what are we going to do first? We are going to spend 3 minutes saying g'day to Ian. I'll go to Ian first. Where are you? You're there. How's everything
Hello,
been
everybody.
for you, mate?
It's good, actually. I've got a quick story. So, back in 1983, yes, I am that old, I joined a band and they gave me this. Okay. They were a punk band and they'd had a single out. I never played on it and never even liked it, to be fair. And recently, my wife and I were actually looking at our old singles, and I said, I think that's worth some money. Anyway, to cut a long story short, it went up on eBay, and I have I had two copies of this, and I've just sold the other copy for 300 quid to Japan. So this will tie into when we're talking about the future, because I intend to spend it on some synthesizers.
Wow. So obviously, a
yeah.
bit of a win for there.
Actually, like I say, I may even sell the other one as well, because I never liked it. The only other thing about this is the cover. We all know who Peppa Pig is, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, right. Well, the guy who designed the cover was a school friend of mine, and he is the man who came up with Peppa Pig.
Oh, he'd be a very rich man now, wouldn't he?
Oh, he is. Yeah, he lives down in Devon, and I see him occasionally. Mr. Peppa Pig designed a punk single cover for a band. I think he did a few album covers back in the sort of late 70s, early 80s when he was still at college.
He didn't just do Peppa Pig though. He's done other things, right?
No, it's him and his two partners. They have I think he is retired now, although he still directs. I think he still directs the cartoons. As a company they did other things as well, but that was their cash cow, certainly.
Oh yeah.
And when because they sold the rights to Peppa Pig to some other company, and I think they still earn some royalties from it, which as they should do, because
of course.
But yeah, so
yeah,
my 300 quid is going towards the CD.
That's good news, mate. People are arriving. We should probably quickly jump over to those. We'll start with, is Andy, are you ready to say good day?
I think so. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Okay,
nice to have you, mate.
Yeah,
how's things been going?
Back. How you doing? Oh, it's usual stuff. Busy. Got a new toy I set up the other day.
Oh.
It's getting cropped by this image, but it's Roland TD-17 with some extras.
Nice.
So it's kind of nice.
What's the...
Got an SP202 yesterday, really cheap. Some lo-fi sampling. So, yeah.
What's really cheap, Andy?
175 or something like that.
That's good.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, pretty cheap.
Andy, you're probably going to kill me, but I'm doing the opposite to what you're doing at the moment.
I did see you post something about that. You're getting rid of some stuff, yeah.
Oh, yeah. I have... where are we up to? I've sold quite a lot of stuff so far. I currently have 37 things listed, and I've sold 13 things out of my studio already. So
good.
I am going through a massive clean out. And yeah, it's
The background looks a little empty. You have some stuff missing back there. So
none of that's changed. None of that there's changed. That's
it
all the
hasn't?
same.
Okay. I
Yeah,
thought
yeah. So this is stuff that's basically, I think I talked about it last year. This is stuff that's basically been sitting in cupboards and drawers, and it just wasn't getting used. And some of it you'll be surprised that I got rid of. So I got rid of the S2400 from Isle Instruments. Just wasn't getting used.
Yeah, mine's still in a case. I got to use it more.
Yeah. And you know, I sold it for a decent amount of money. So I need the more important thing is I actually need the money because I've got a big bill to pay. So this is what it's for, really. And you know, it's actually quite cleansing. I actually feel good doing it. So what was I going to show you. This is my Reverb shop. There's actually more than 19 things listed on Reverb, but it's just showing, I don't know why, 19 results at the moment. So you can buy a circuit monostation, a Waldorf Blofeld, a TB3 IRA touch bassline, a Roland IRA, how do you know how you want to say it? VT3. They don't make them anymore. Volca Mix. I've sold most of my Volcas. I've got 3 Volcas left. If you're called a Volca Mix, a Volca. 2 Volcas left. Touch it.
Yeah.
That's the one I don't have. I hate the Volca Mix.
4 boutiques for sale.
Right.
Yep. I'm selling the Moog because it's a good time to sell them. Analog 4 is there. So I just sold today the
Analog 4?
Korg Radius as
man.
well. The Korg Radius sold today. There's a guy who's put a deposit on it, and he's going to go and pick it up. Local bloke. So I will be listing some more things. So you know, do keep an eye on Ranzee's Synth Tech Shop on Reverb.com if you want to help me pay my bill. Buy some stuff off me, if it's stuff that you want, of course. If it's not stuff that you want, don't do that. But if it is stuff that you want, like if, for example, the circuit monostation's not being made anymore by Novation, and the one that I'm selling is in really good condition. I've priced it pretty good, $327. I think that's pretty tasty.
Yeah.
So there's some.
I would buy stuff, but I got to save up for the Osmos next month. I got to pay off. So.
Yep. Now, this is for Wagyu. I've always wanted to sell the Radius, but the whole gear, sort of hanging on to gear thing, I think was probably part of the issue why I haven't got rid of it until now. And I kind of just got over it over the Christmas New Year break. I just sort of went, nah, this bill, I've got to pay it. Why hold on to stuff? It's not getting used. I don't actually have a lot of time to be using it either. So I'm kind of like, I've just kind of made a truth with myself. Like, why are you holding on to it just for in case you need it in the future? If I need it in the future, I can always buy it again in the future. But right now I don't need it. So, and that Radius sat in a cupboard for like 5 years and very rarely got used. Like maybe twice in that 5 years it got pulled out. I never really sort of gelled with it. It's a lovely synth. I'm not gonna rubbish it, but I never gelled with it because I thought it was a bit digital sounding. So I thought there's better VAs out there than the Radius. But a lot of people swear by it, and I can see why if you've got time for it. So yeah. Anyway, nothing negative is meant by any of that, by the way, guys. So all that stuff that I'm selling, it's not because I don't like it. It's because I don't get a chance to use it. There's going to be a few bigger items going. Some people pretty shocked. Some of the items that I will be selling soon are going to be quite popular. So I'll let those cats out of the bag when they come to fruition.
What, your whole modular system?
No, that's pretty safe at the moment, the modular system.
That would save a lot of money right there.
Yeah. That would probably pay the bill if I sold the whole thing right now. So let's just go across to that now, just actually while we're doing it. That's still there. Everything's still there. And I've still got modules sitting. I haven't built my case yet. another year to build my case. Yeah, I've still got modules sitting in drawers here that I will pull out eventually. But now, while we are speaking of modules, I need to say a massive, huge thank you to Steve, who's in the... Whoa, Henrik, you are really loud, mate.
Oh, okay. I can turn it down here.
It's in a server room.
1, 2.
Yeah.
I'm just going to mute you for a sec. Sorry, I need to mute you. Now, what was I going to do? I just got literally
Stood by a
distracted by
plane.
that. Steve sent me this lovely gift, and it was really, really nice of you, mate, to do that. So it's the WMD Orion, and it's a phaser. And that was such a nice thing for him to do, and I just wanted to reach out to him and say many, many thanks. And, you know, you don't have to do that, but it was very humbling what you wrote to me. You wrote a very nice letter and everything, supporting me in my show. And I just wanted to reach out to him and just say, thanks, mate. It was awesome of you to do that. Touched my heart. Gave me a little tear of joy, of course. So that was good.
How would you compare it to other phasers? What does it sound like?
Haven't really had I mean, we can have a muck around with it in a minute.
Like a Mutron or some kind of other?
Kind of weird, kind of wacky, a wacky phaser. Kind of what you'd expect in Eurorack land, something that would kind of do wacky stuff. So far, but I haven't even got any other than about 5 minutes with it so far. It's there, it's turned on. We can patch it up later on if you want. Okay, cool. Let's roll the start of the show. It's official. We have started the show. No need to say anything else other than nice to have you. Right, we are going to get stuck straight into everything. Before I do get stuck straight into everything, I do want to go quickly over to StreamYard and just say a couple of quick hellos. The first one is, let me just fix up mics here. Mics, camera action. There we go. And we're going to go first to Kent, who's
hello.
in the corner. How are you, mate? Nice to see you.
Thank you.
Now that noise that we're hearing is still Henrik's
From
mic.
me.
It's-
Yeah.
Still very
Unmuted
loud.
till I speak.
Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Yeah, it's nice to have you, Kent. How's your Christmas, New Year's, and most of January been?
Yeah, not too bad really. Usuals. Sort of plenty of work, as always. But yeah, and I've had an accident with a
You've lost your hair, mate.
Fiona.
With the clippers.
I can cut hair. I know how to cut hair.
No.
You'll get in trouble, mate. I've been in trouble this year. Yeah, don't get in trouble with the
I'm
missus.
always in trouble. So.
Yeah. It's nice.
So I'm speaking to you from inside a GS1 at the moment.
Yamaha.
Mm-hmm.
Who is
It's
it?
the one that went up in
Is it the one
flames.
that we know? Is it, or is it someone else that you can't tell us about?
Well, there's two here at the moment.
Oh, okay.
This one was this one was level 42s.
Cool.
The one in the hall.
What's wrong with this one?
Everything. Apparently,
What's
what
right
it
with it
was,
is a question.
It sounds like a guitar. Is that what you're saying?
Was it a tour or something like that in was it Dubai or something like that? And when it came back, it was just full of sand. And they went,
no.
"Oh, it'll be fine. Just leave the sand in. It's not hurting it." Yes, indeed. So yeah, so we had to get the sand out of it first, which is, you know, well, this board here, if you can see this, this board here with all the customized Cs, just underneath.
It's like flying through
You
a
couldn't
city.
see
isn't
that for sand.
Oh no.
It was completely embedded in sand. So yeah,
my
it's
God.
not great.
it? So what
Too
are you
much silicon.
saying? That people need to clean their synths?
I think it might be a good idea, especially on the inside. If it's full of sand or peat,
Or cigarette butts?
Or, yeah,
Dead spiders.
forms of dead rodents, I suggest removing them if you can. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, it might be an idea.
or contact a synth professional.
Kent Spong, everyone. Yes. That's 1-300 Kent Spong. No, I don't know what his number is.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, Mrs. is having a go at me. I've got so many keyboards in here at the moment. It's ridiculous. There's an M1, Duke de Ray, Prodigy, Rogue, CS70, TTSH, and the GS1.
Actually, you might be interested. If you can stick around, you might be interested in the Price Watch segment. There's a couple of interesting things that I found coming up. Yeah, I reckon you'd be very interested. Think Italy. That's all I'll say at the moment. Think Italy. I'm going to jump over to Henrik now and say a massive big hello to you. You can unmute yourself now, mate.
Yeah. Is it loud or is it the background which is loud?
I think it's just noisy background.
Yeah. It's a zoom camera with a zoom recorder on, right. So it's quite sensitive. And it's impossible to adjust anything on it. It's a stupid camera.
Will it cry? Is it that sensitive? Don't yell at it.
Yeah. I will. I will add another mic, but not today. It will be another time.
Okay. Well, it's nice to have you. Thanks for joining us on StreamYard. And for those who want to know, how do I jump onto Stream? There's a link there. They just clicked on it. I just pasted it back into chat. There's probably room for one or two more, I think, in there. So that is awesome. And we'll bring everyone back to here, and we'll bring you guys back into a big square like that. Is there any else one? No, we're good there. Beautiful. Okie dokies. Let's get stuck into the show. Darren, what's the first segment? I've forgotten. It's been months. What do we do first?
Funny side, is it?
Oh, good memory. And it's not that button. See, I haven't even got the right buttons. Now, there's a bit of a theme going on this funny side this week. Bit of a theme. And it's called sarcasm. Yeah, probably. Okay. This one? Okay, so you guys don't want me to read this, do you? You guys can see this, right?
Nah, you
good.
I was doing that like literally a few weeks ago. I was packing up the Christmas lights, and I'm thinking to myself, never again. Never again. And I felt for that mix engineer. I really did. What about this? This should make you happy when you buy a new synth. Then you get it. And in Darren's case, much later. Much later. Darren's like, I even forgot that I ordered that. No. Then you get the new synth, and then it becomes just a synth. That's a bit dark.
That's quite sad, isn't it?
That's a bit dark, isn't it?
Yeah.
Here's a new device for synthfluencers who are crying because they don't get freebies anymore.
Topical.
Very topical. I like that
Very
one.
topical, yeah.
Not me. Not me. I don't care.
Rant, no.
Don't send me your shit. Because I'll tell you it's shit. Okay. Who liked Funny Side this week? You can tell me the truth. You can say it's crap, whatever. Was there a favourite?
No, it wasn't crap. Oh, my favourite was the first one.
First one?
Yeah.
Too much talk about synths? Yeah. I mean, that's what the show is. And we've got like 50 other shows during the week. Yeah.
Although I work with some people could use the toilet paper on the ear because they're always crying about stuff that works.
Yes. Yes. In the chat, what do you guys think? What was the meme of the week? Or the meme of the week. The first says Steve. The last one says Bert. Yeah, I think those two seem... Oh, who's going for the Christmas lights? Yeah. I kind of felt for the Christmas lights as well. Bit of a mixed bag, that one, isn't it? We had a few people say... I think maybe the first got just over the line. I think we'll go with the first one.
It did make me laugh the most.
Yeah, I think that one got the reaction out of most people. Right. Well, we should get stuck into the next section, which is what's the next section called?
It's not named that synth, is it?
Nope.
Nope.
Starts with N, though.
News.
Yes.
It'll be news then.
We do have some news. Some good news. It's all good news. There's a photo of my horribly dirty mouse mat with a couple of modules sitting on it. Yes, this week we're going to show some gear. Hey! Everyone likes gear. Now, these from our illustrious friends over in Budapest from Feedback Modules. And you can see there's two mixes here. There's the mix KM and there's the mix CR. And also, you guys probably know that I've also got another one sitting in my eurorack called the mix BX, which if I click on this and then I go to there, you can see it. Hello, mix BX. So that is actually sounded like Kermit the Frog then. Anyway, what are these mixes about? Okay, so what they're about is you can see they've got the same sort of format. They've got 6 channels. Each channel has input, a gain, low and high EQ, 2 aux sends, a pan control, level control for volume, and a mute switch. The mute switch 2 is noiseless, as far as I can tell so far. I haven't actually heard any clicks on the mute, so that's good. And that'll make people happy as well. But what do these 2 letters mean? KM, CR, BX? Anyone want to guess? Someone should know. Nobody could guess it? No. Crickets. Okay, so they're actually famous
one's for
mixes.
CV, one's for audio? Was it?
No, they're famous mixes. And I'm actually going to show you some of them. So the first one is the Boss BX 800. So the channels in each of these mixes, so if you look at the mix BX, for example, which is over here, that has the same channel architecture, preamp architecture as this Boss mixer. And a lot of people who, played in clubs back in the day will know these mixes, and they were very, very popular at the time. The next one is the KM, which was named after the Boss KM60. And I think I've got a photo of the last one. That's the CR, which is after the Mackie CR. And that's the 1604. A lot of people bought that. That was really popular, that desk. So why does this guy want to build a whole bunch of Eurorack mixes that look the same pretty much, but technically aren't? And the answer is because the preamps behave differently with each of those mixes, and you get a different warmth or a different overdrive or a different feedback from each of those. And sitting in my rack just here is the mix CR. I've got a mix BX behind it, and over to the right I'll show you a different shot. Hopefully there's a better shot. Where's my better shot? Do I have a better shot? Yes, I have a better shot. There. You can see there's this module here called the Mix. It's just off to the right, where you can actually combine all your stereo outputs into like a master mix, and it's got XLR outputs and all that sort of stuff. More about that later. I've actually shown you guys that anyway. So there's a bit of feedback modules in this particular setup right now. I've actually got the multi-tap delay sitting over to the left. The reason why I've got that is because we've got a mono send and a stereo return coming back. And then further to the left, you can see the 106 chorus module, which has a mono input and a stereo return. And they're coming into the mix CR. But what is famous about the Mackie CR mixer was that everybody in the day, and it didn't do one of these because these didn't exist at the time, but they had the original version, which was the TB303, plugged into one of those, and they cranked up the preamp to the massive gain. So you can see here, I've got the gain all the way up as far as it'll go. To number 11, Darren.
Oh, yes, that's what he likes.
And it sounds something
It's one
like
more
this.
than 10.
that's how you get that sort of overdriven sound. If I was to take the gain off all the way back to nothing, we'd obviously have to pull the channel up. Just sounds like a boring. There's nothing really sort of biting into that channel, right? So that is one of the things about it. Now, at the time when feedback modules were starting to look at this sort of stuff, I probably showed you guys this. They actually sold these little preamp modules, and I've actually shown you guys this one before. This is the pre-CR. So I've had the TD3 going through this. Actually, I think I had the 2500 modules going through it too, and it sounded like a TB303 as well. So that will do the same job, but if you want 6 of them, it's cheaper to get one of those, because it's exactly the same thing, the 6 of them. And let's crank it back up again. Let's go a bit lower, shall we? See how it's all just breaking apart there? Yeah. Anyway, so that's the Mix CR. And obviously the Mix BX and the Mix KM do the same thing, but different with different flavors. I've got the KM not plugged in at the moment, but there's the KM there. So they're all the same. It's just what's behind it and all that sort of stuff. Kent's stuff. Kent, tell me what that does. No, he's not there. So, yeah. There's the Mix BX, Mix KR, and Mix CR. Now, they're €290 from feedback modules over in Budapest. They sometimes go on sale. He actually does have a sale on at the moment, but not for these. But he does have them in stock, and that's one of the things that you may find at times during the year. Sometimes these guys don't have stock, so that one is in stock. And pretty decent price for a 6-channel Eurorack mixer. It's 35 HP, if you're wondering. Questions, people? Questions and answers. Chat questions.
I got one question. Was that the that TD3 of yours? Was that the grapefruit color?
It was the purple one. That's the purple one. I stole this off Rave Dave, actually. He's not too happy about it.
Yeah, he's been wondering where it's gone.
Yeah,
that's the color that's the color I'm thinking I'm getting. Does it sound better?
Yeah. I've got the red one. It sounds better, right?
It punches out more purple hearts than you'd believe.
Yeah. The funny thing is the cheapest one they ever had on Sweetwater, the purple one.
It's the best. Yeah. It's the best one. Stick it next to some Roland Ira gear, and you've got a real Batman Joker theme going on, which you'd like, Andy. Right. So, did we have any questions in the chatties about the mixers? Everyone's talking about the TD3. We're not talking about the TD3, people. Just go buy one. They're bloody cheap, those things. They actually have a overdrive circuit in them themselves, and it was disabled, by the way. So I can show you that. Can I? I can, yes. Not that one, that one. So I had turned it off.
Yeah.
I actually think someone mentioned somewhere along the line that Behringer just used one of their Behringer guitar pedal distortion circuits for that, and it probably was one of the the cheap $50 Behringer guitar pedal distortion type circuits in there. So if you are wondering, that's the rumor that I heard. Someone from Behringer might want to confirm that, actually, because wouldn't it have been cool if Behringer put the Mackie CR preamp in there or something? That would just, it definitely isn't, because it doesn't sound anything like it. But yeah, that would have been.
I would say they would have talked about that, wouldn't they?
They did. They would have
promoted that.
It'd have some stuff.
The boutique TB03 has a distortion circuit and a delay circuit, and runs on batteries.
There you go.
May I test my mic for a second?
It's really loud. Yeah, you can.
Going through that.
It's really loud. I can turn it down.
Is it better now? I'm using another,
Oops, wrong one.
another external mic.
Where are you guys? I'm trying to find the camera.
That is better, Heinrich.
There it is. Go again.
Okay. Loud or low?
Needs to be louder.
It needs to be louder. Okay.
Yep.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, that's too loud now.
Too loud.
That's too loud. Okay.
Yeah. So halfway
Yeah,
between
1,
there
2,
and the
3.
other one.
I think it's about there.
Yep.
1, 2, 3.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay.
Sorry, Robbie's been waiting and he hasn't told me.
Hey.
Shame on you, Robbie, for not telling me.
I was just enjoying things. I did have a question, but then you answered it, and it was about the TD3. About the distortion.
Nobody's interested in the mixers.
Yeah, Wagoo. I think
Yeah,
Wagoo
what was it again?
corrected me. He said it's the Boss DS1 circuit. I don't know if that's true or not though, Wagoo. I heard it was a Behringer. Well, okay, so if it's a Behringer one, it would be the Boss one because they just cloned them, right? They just copied the Boss stuff. We all know that.
Yeah,
so
You know, copy stuff. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
they cut and paste. Cut pedal, paste pedal. Yeah, nice to see you, Robbie.
You too, mate. Did you have a good holiday?
Yeah, it wasn't too bad. Wasn't too bad. We sort of had Christmas and then New Year's, and then sort of some crap went on, and then we finally went away last week. So with the family. So, and then I caught COVID. Yay. Yeah.
Bummer.
Want it? Yeah, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, you get to the screen, mate.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, it's weird.
Good to have you back there, mate.
Okay, so I think we can move on from the mixes, but just one last thing too that I think is really, really cool about them, and that is that I love the send aux send circuits on these things. All right, so you can see over here with this lovely sort of mesh of cables here, you've got one out. Sorry, I probably can't hear me as loud because I moved my mic out of the way. And two, so you got like a mono output and a stereo return. And so it returns it into the main channel.
Ranzee, us on StreamYard can only see Robbie.
Oh.
So, what's the point? I mean,
Well, I mean, he's pretty
what are you
handsome.
trying to say?
Does that somehow offend you? Consider that a plus.
Sorry. Just for the people on StreamYard, you can see mono outputs for the aux sends and stereo returns. And what makes that really cool is that you can use nice delay circuits and you're not taking up inputs and things like that. So in this particular case, I've got 6 channels that I can use, but technically there's another 4 channels in on that main input coming back, which you could use, but it would spread left to right. So 2 stereo channels coming back. You could use them that way, and I'm sure people do. I'm definitely sure people do. Now, what I might do is, while we're at it, I might try out the phaser. What do you guys want to? Do you guys want to try the phaser out? That's this little baby here, the Orion from WMD. Thanks to Steve. And Steve's a legend. People said no one said no, so I'm just assuming that's what.
Yeah, no, go for it.
Yeah, we'll take. This is Robbie's favourite view when we're looking at things like cables. There you go, Robbie. Pulling cables out.
FM. Yes. Gotta wake him up.
Shh.
Want to buy
I
my
had to put
FM
Robbie's
synth?
face in there because he loves modular so much.
Who wants to buy my FM synth?
I would, but it's the shipping, mate. It's the shipping.
It's a ship pen. Okay, so we're going to go in there and then out. Alright. That's exciting, isn't it, hey? Watching Rand's plug some crap in to a modular system. How exciting is that? Sorry, people.
Wake up, Robbie. Wake up.
Sorry.
What I might do is I might just press a note here.
I know that song. Don't hold it too long, you get a strike.
Where's my phaser thing gone? There it is. There's 4, 6, and 8 stages on that. So you can get it to all the different phaser stuff. I kind of feel like it needs to be explored more, because I'm kind of wanting to know what the fold and the stereo does, and we also have CV controls of resonance and frequency, and depth, which we could use an LFO to do, which might make it interesting. But I actually plumbed that into the aux send of the Mix CR, sorry. So I didn't have to do anything other than just plug 3 cables in, and I could run anything through that. Like I could run a flute sound through it.
You can even hear the whoosh at rest there in the background. It's funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can definitely hear the phaser in that. Beautiful. That's an awesome phaser. I like it. WMD aren't around anymore, are they? Is that right? Did I read that correctly?
Yeah.
They dropped off the face of the earth.
All done.
Can you guys hear it?
Yeah. Oh yeah, we can hear it.
Whoosh whoosh.
Good old.
Let's take it out. Because otherwise we'll be listening to that like the start of Oxygen.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you want a crazy sound, run your TD3 through a WMD Geiger counter. That thing's nuts.
Yeah, that is a cool module. Okay, now there was some more news actually. Not that, because that was the last of that. There was this thing, the NGEN from Spektro Audio. That kind of really pricked my ears when I saw this. I don't know. I kind of thought this was actually pretty interesting. So let's play a vid. Let's play a viddy.
To introduce a new Spektro Audio hardware product, the NGEN. After releasing my first hardware product, Gen Hardware Edition, back in 2019, I decided I wanted to start working on another hardware tool to take all these new ideas that I had related to generative and algorithmic composition and performance even further. So I started working on a new project. My main goal for this new product was to create a portable multi-track MIDI sequencer capable of running not only the original Gen, but also many other types of generators. I also wanted it to have an easy-to-use interface to let users control these different generators to create and perform new music ideas. So instead of having to create or record sequences from scratch, you'd basically combine these generators to play multiple MIDI instruments at the same time. In other words, you'd be almost like a conductor of a jam band. So after working on multiple hardware prototypes, algorithms, and firmware revisions over the past 3 years, I'm happy to announce that the Spektro Audio NGEN is finally available.
Alright, and he goes on for another 30 minutes telling us about everything that it does, which is probably a good time for us to pause the video, because you guys can go check that out on your own and watch that. It's a pretty cool little project that he's done. I liked seeing that first part of the video where you actually saw him with the Arduino gear out and the breadboards, and he was, you sort of saw the stages of his development, and then eventually you saw the end product. I thought that was pretty cool how he showed that. I reckon Chris would have liked that too.
Did he go away from the ACD name because there's a company called ACD Systems?
I think he
did.
I think he did, yeah. And I think the product wasn't as developed as he'd wanted it to be, from what he said just briefly in that introduction as well. So he definitely wanted to do more with that. So it was kind of like the next stage anyway. But yeah, 4 little buttons on this thing. It's pretty unassuming to look at, I guess. But what does it do? It claims that it's like a doorless MIDI setup. So 4 buttons, 4 knobs. You can use this thing to control a whole bunch of these things called generators. Melodic parts. You've got things like ACD gen, ARPA, drum gen, sequencer, MIDI players, polyforms, shufflers. There's a Turing machine in there, polyrhythmic arpeggiator as well. Excuse me while I'm trying to get through COVID here. And there's also MIDI effects in there. We're looking at $5.99. They're based in Brazil, so and I believe you can get them now as the pre-order. So I kind of feel someone would be interested in that, surely.
Well, I
concept.
thought I would. I can't quite understand why I'm not really excited about this, because I love generative stuff, if I can even say it. Generative stuff. Yeah. But I don't know really, and there's clearly a lot of work gone into it. I watched the whole video this morning, and I wasn't, because at the end he does just some little demos, and I wasn't really impressed by the demos. And one of them was using an organelle. And other things.
I noticed that, yeah.
I don't know why I don't. It's not that I don't like it, because is it that I get this sort of stuff from probably stuff I've already got to some extent, I mean, I suppose if you want to do, if I'm doing that type of generative stuff, I would do it in a DAW or in Max MSP, something like that. I think that's maybe the thing. The little screen would sort of, I mean, although the organelle's got a tiny screen, the little screen would probably bug me as well. And it's a bit menu divey, isn't it?
A little bit. It's probably a little bit similar to the Noodler in that sense, I think. I'll jump over to their website. There's a few sort of graphics flickering about. You guys can see it better. I don't know. I think it's.
How's it powered? Is it battery as well? Because I didn't get that from it. I mean, I know that he had a USB connected to it the whole time. Yeah. It's the sort of thing I'd like a pair of headphones and a battery, so I could just sit on,
You probably could
mess
power
around with it
off a one of those brick things.
A brick, yeah.
Yeah. Like one of these things.
But I half expected to like it more than I did. But that's probably me.
Battery brick things.
Yeah.
I think it's aimed at like a DJ type performance market. That's what I think it's aimed at. People that don't want to have a laptop, they want to have a whole bunch of gear there and sync it all up, and use those generators to do some funky things with it. That's what I think it's aimed at. I'm trying to sort of think: is there, other than a laptop, is there anything else out there that does what this does in one unit? Probably not. Like, you'd probably need a couple of different things.
I mean, Noodler's close.
MPC would do a lot of it.
So Torre Squid does it, but it has less of the generating aspect.
Yeah.
But it does have some automation features in it.
Yeah. What did
you
think of it?
Squarf One would do some of it.
What did you think of it?
Oh, it's I didn't have a chance to watch all the videos, but yeah, it's cool because it's portable and battery operated potentially. It's kind of like Ornament and Crime meets a Torre Squid, but in a small box.
Yep.
So you can have a bunch of stuff going. You can have generative stuff. You can have like Turing machines, all kinds of stuff. And then since it isn't geared around making the sounds, you hook it to whatever crap you got handy. So if it's like a DAWless jam setup for background stuff, and then you play on top of it, or It seems pretty cool. I mean, demos are always tough because you may not like the music the guy's making, or he rushed out the video. Maybe it wasn't. He should have got some other people to work with it to make some better music potentially. So I don't use the music part so much to judge the product. Look at all the features it has and the fact that it's kind of unique in a small form factor. But yeah, you have to be menu divey. I mean, Ornament and Crime is all about menu diving. So
Yeah.
But it's cool they took some modular stuff and put it in a tiny box.
Yeah, and you've got to commend the guy because he's a one-man band. He's doing it on his own, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
I mean there's it's got a lot going for it. I just don't think it's necessarily for me.
Fair enough.
Well, like Chris, that's a lot of work to do all that stuff. So Chris has got all those products he's working on. It's a shitload of work. So.
Yeah. I was thinking this guy might be me in a year or two.
Yeah, maybe. Possibly. I kind of thought the menu diving side of it was inevitable, but I think once you actually, it seems to me it's like you set something and then you go back to the main screen of it, and then you can use the parameters and the buttons for that. So it's not too bad. I mean, it's not as bad as like a JDXI. I mean, that's the menu diver's nightmare, that one.
The deep menus, yeah.
Yeah, very deep menus. And 2 lines of text. Yeah. Chatties, what were they saying about it? I think a few mentions of the Squarp stuff was kind of popping through. I kind of just had a tiny little glance at what people were saying in chat. Steve Elbows was saying Noodler and some MIDI effects on some of the early Squarp stuff. Yeah, so pretty much echoing what we're saying here. Brilliant. Nice. Beautiful. Okay. There was another thing in that I forgot to mention. It does actually have 2 CV gate connections on the back of it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that may be a cool thing.
Was it in or out?
I would say it's out because it's a generator.
Probably.
I'd say it's out.
But sometimes it's nice to have it generated by something dependent on something else.
Trying to find a picture of the back of it, and there's not one on the website. Sorry. No, can't find it. And I want to go to the next segment. Anyway,
it says CV1 out, CV1 there.
There you go. Cool.
I'm sure they're out.
I think so too.
It is a nice looking thing. It's pretty tiny. I just think like there's going to be people that will think this is really, really super cool because it's not taking up.
I'm in between Ian and Andy actually. I like it, and then also I'm on the Ian sort of thing, whereas I just can't. I don't know. Maybe it's too simple because then you sort of know that you're gonna have to menu dive a lot. There's not enough. I don't know. I'm in between Ian and Andy. I really like it. I think it's cool and I like the generative stuff. But then on the other hand, I'm a bit like Ian, thinking I don't really want it.
Yeah.
Can these people who do the small screens? Why can't they put like some sort of out so you can always send the screen out to a big screen so you can get like a little 8-inch monitor if you want?
Well, that's the thing. If they used a Raspberry Pi, they could. If they started using Raspberry Pis, what's wrong with the Raspberry Pi? They're pretty cheap. Yeah.
But if you use,
you know you're going to be.
But if it's used with MIDI, I didn't see all of it. I must admit that. But how much can you control with CCs or NRPN?
You'd have to go through their website, mate, and have a look. We haven't gone that deep into it. The link to it is in the blog article. So, yeah. Damn good question, though. But
I mean, if you compare to something like the old MIDI Pal, did you ever see the MIDI Pal?
Yeah, from Mutable. Yep.
Yeah. Much simpler, probably about the same price, actually. So to have all this in a small box is pretty clever, I think.
Yeah. It's definitely up someone's alley. I don't know about the price tag. Bearing in mind, sometimes when we see these price tags, we've got to remember this is, like someone said, it's a one-man band. He's probably not tooling up this thing at a massive factory. Do you know what I mean? So that would be...
No, he actually said at the end of the video that he's going to hand build them in the short term because there is still the chip shortage, but he's obviously got enough for current and future orders, I guess, before he can actually get to the point of ramping up manufacturing.
Yeah,
So
yeah, it was a bit like with Oleg with the Blue Art. I mean, that thing was pretty pricey, but the amount of work that he put into it, it's fair enough. He's spending hours and hours and hours building these things. So same with this guy.
Oh, there's a lot of work gone into this. You can just see that.
Yeah, absolutely. So when you do see, this is kind of more just a trap for young players. When you see things like this, you think, oh, it's a tiny little box. Wow, $599 US. That's a lot of money. Nah, not for me. It's not necessarily that $599 if you compare it to what Behringer punch out. Yeah, that is a lot of money, but they're not Behringer. They're just a one-man band, and you got to give them some slack. Right. This was interesting. I don't usually kind of do these types of news on my show, but I thought this was actually really interesting. This only happened overnight. In Brussels, there's a guy who's doing in the studio 10 with MJ. So this guy's name is Brad Sundberg, and he's actually one of the audio engineers that produced some of the later albums with Michael Jackson, like 90s and stuff. So what he does is he does these tours, and he talks about how he produces and what he does at the desk, and things like that. And he talks about his experience with Michael Jackson. It would have been an absolutely brilliant thing to go to, but what happened is some sneaky little bugger stole his laptop.
Yeah,
they stole his laptop. And on the laptop was all of this original unreleased Michael Jackson stuff, and he's chucked it up onto SoundCloud. I think the cops were looking for him. This is in Brussels, so Henrik, keep an eye out if he's coming up your way.
I have a filter. I'm not into MJ, so I have a filter. Everything MJ is not being seen here.
Fair enough. But I just thought this is actually a pretty good segue for a conversation about us being musicians and keeping, our music data, I guess you want to call it, protected. Now, I haven't made a #1 single, so it's not going to worry me, I don't think. But I'm sure there's someone in the chat that's produced and has touched gear or files with artists that have made squillions, and I don't know, I just found that really interesting how someone knew this guy had a laptop with Michael Jackson stuff on it. He stole it. He knew it was worth $1 squillion because it's got previously unreleased whole complete songs on there that Michael Jackson never wanted to release because he wasn't happy with them. And for those who follow Michael Jackson, they will know that, for example, I don't know if you've ever heard the previous version of Thriller was not actually called Thriller; it was called something else. And it's
Starlight, wasn't it?
Starlight, yeah. And it sounded pretty similar, but it didn't have the theatrics and the Vincent Price voiceover and all this sort of stuff. So it would have just been a pretty basic sounding song if you released Starlight. But Thriller was, it was a masterpiece, and I think Quincy Jones, helped out with that. But having said that, what about us? What about you guys out there? Do you guys protect your data? What are you walking around? What's really got my head scratching is what's this guy walking around with a laptop with Michael Jackson stuff still on it? Is the question. But are we walking around with thumb drives in our pocket still? And
look at that dance track that came out from Elvis.
All right, who was going to go first? I think.
Go ahead.
I remember, I think it was the Ultra album from Depeche Mode. Martin Gore was going to share it with a friend, and he shared it via a torrent, and suddenly the whole world had it half a year before the release.
I love that album. That is one of my favorite albums.
Yeah. And I must admit, I was on torrents back then. So yeah, but when they are asked about it today, they are laughing. They learned something.
Oh hell yeah, hell yeah,
yeah.
Now I'm trying to keep a memory of who was speaking in line. I think Darren was next, and I think Andy was third. So I go Darren.
Yeah, I was just going to say I don't have any issues like that, because if you go back to the beginning of the show on the first meme, that's what happens. They throw the laptop back at the window if they nick mine.
Throw your synth at the screen meme time. Yeah. No, I think
enough of that, and then throw it back.
It is a good discussion topic though, because you just never know. One day you might have a breakthrough, and you got to look after your data. So have a think, maybe. Are you being careful with your data? Now, sorry, that's the wrong button. Andy was the next person. Sorry, Ian.
Don't worry. There's just two things actually. One was just that Elvis Presley track came out that was a dance track, and I think that was an unreleased Elvis
Junkie XL
thing that the guy turned into a dance track.
Yep.
So that was kind of interesting. They just repurposed stuff
a little
that
bit
wasn't really
of
supposed to come out.
action. Is that the one?
A little more action, something like that. Yeah. And then as far as data goes, you see those leaks all the time for like the Apple cloud stuff and all kinds of other stuff. So if you store your stuff in the cloud, unless you use very specific means and even some encryption and stuff, your stuff is always suspect. I mean, if you put it in Google Drive, you put it anywhere, it could easily be taken if people are determined enough and clever enough.
Online backups.
It's just, yeah.
I mean, how secure are those online backups? I mean, I'm not talking about the big companies, but not so big companies.
If they're just put up there, they're not that secure. But if you use special encryption algorithms, then they're very secure. So,
I just really thought this was interesting. What do you think, Ian?
Yeah, I don't do anything special. I mean, about
it's not what your wife says.
Stuff that's not released. Having said that, I have got recordings from every band that I've ever played in, because I used to record rehearsals. And one or two of those people that were in those bands, I mean, there's a guy based out of Leeds who's doing really well for himself now, but I'm not going to release those songs that we played together on anytime soon, so I don't, and what I should probably say to him is, do you want copies of these things that I've got, really? And I probably will do at some point, but I've not really worked with anybody really famous in that respect, But I've worked with a few people I worked with a country guy about 5 or 6 years ago. We were working on an album. It never got finished. Granted, he never paid me for all of it either. I still have those recordings. Now they're really good, but I'm not going to do anything with them again. So they are just. I do store stuff on the cloud, but I don't store music on the cloud or tracks. Apart from if I put something on SoundCloud and it's a demo, then I'm quite happy for people to listen to it or even download it if they want to and stuff like that. I have a drive stored upstairs which is duplicated, so it's 2 hard drives, and everything that gets stored onto that is backed up twice, and it's just on our normal Wi-Fi network, really. So that's all I've done. I haven't done anything else about putting stuff up.
But Ian, I would not be surprised. Like, I don't know anyone in this particular boat, but let's say, I don't know, let's pick someone just randomly out of the blue. Let's say, we talked about Martin Gore before, right? And this is definitely not what happened, so this is just fictitious. Sorry, Martin. But he probably has a little NAS drive at home sitting on his Wi-Fi, and there'd be stuff on it. And if someone broke into his house and grabbed that little NAS drive and just chucked it under their arm and piss-bolted out the front door, they'd have a little treasure trove, with it. Now, Robbie, I know you've been a big fan of MJ over the years. What did you think of that news and the whole sort of thing about losing data and...
Well, I've kind of got some skin in this game because I work for a company in my day job whose industry is security, and digital security primarily. So we produce things that protect digital stuff, whether it's data, whether it's identities, whether it's physical locks or whatever. And I every day for the last decade or so, I drum into people the mantra that you've got to take care of your stuff, if especially if it has some inherent value to you or to someone else. And two-factor authentication is becoming more and more common. We see things where you have to log in and you type in your password, then they send you a text, and then you enter that code in, and that kind of works. That really does reduce stuff. But three-factor authentication is where you really need to kind of start. Something you know, something you have, something you are. So a password, fingerprint, or a biometric something or other, PIN codes, that kind of thing. And you have three levels of kind of security, and it is a pain in the backside. But if you've got data that is precious, you have to protect it, and it's your responsibility. And if this guy's walking around with stuff that is valuable, either monetarily or sentimentally or whatever, if there is an extreme value in there, and he's had, it's unfortunate that he's had his laptop nicked, but it's incredibly careless of him to have allowed the data on that laptop to be accessible once somebody has stolen it. If somebody pinches my MacBook Pro, they're not getting into it without my fingerprint or my password. And if they do get into the drive itself is encrypted. There's simple things that you can do very, very cheaply to protect your data, and people don't seem to bother to do it. So I'm a little kind of, I don't have that much sympathy for him, outside of the fact that, yes, I'm sorry he's had something stolen, which is obviously not very nice, but the fact that that person was able to get into that stuff and distribute it as quickly as they have means that his security can't have been very good. Ultimately, though, security is just a state of mind. You can put all the security in the world on something. All it does is appease your anxiety. If somebody really wants to get into it, they probably will. But the tougher you make it for them, the less likely it is that they will try and do it.
But it could, and I'm speculating, it could be himself who've uploaded it and then telling that story, because he thinks it should be kept for the future, for the audience, and he is not allowed to release it. It could be a reason.
Yeah, then he's broken the law. In many cases, he'll have lied to the police, and he's broken some agreement that he might have with the Jackson estate or whatever. But on the other hand, and coming from another angle, I'm in possession of a lot of stuff that has come into my possession legitimately, but is protected. So for example, I won't mention names, but through my connections with Peter in Australia and doing the Fairlight stuff, we've restored or brokered sales for significant artists, and a lot of content has been on their systems. And so we have to stipulate, off the bat, what do you want us to do with this? What is, do you take it? Are you going to take it off before you send it to us? Do you want us to back it up? If you want us to back it up, how do you want us to back it up? Etc. 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 A lot of the time, the artist will just say, "Well, make a backup just in case." And a lot of the time, they'll say, "Yeah, if you want to, play around with it, you can, but it's not for public distribution." And I've got stuff here that I couldn't, I can't say that I've got it because it would kind of be in breach of that trust. But you've got to, I could quite happily, or easily, should I say, put that material out there for people to have, and thinking, yeah, everybody wants this, and it's it might be 2 or 3 decades old, but that's it's breaking someone's trust and potentially breaking a contract, which we could be taken to court for. And I've got some cracking stuff here, which is if you come round, I might give you a private listen to it, but it doesn't. Nothing leaves.
I'm on my way.
Yeah, I did something. Some years ago, I did something at a show where I said, "Hey," because somebody mentioned they were a fan of this particular act, and I said, "Funny you should say that." And I whipped out this SD card and popped it into the Fairlight, and started playing some of theirs, and they were like, "Oh my god, you've got those sounds!" And then all of a sudden, I had this massive kind of chill down my spine, thinking, "What if somebody was filming me playing those, and then goes and shares that on the internet, and it gets back to that person?" So I do not do that anymore because the risk is too great. But it's it's responsibility. And look, I wouldn't say I'm a massive Michael Jackson fan. I appreciate a lot of his work, but more from not so much Michael's side, but from Quincy Jones's side and Steve Porcaro and Steve Lukather and all of those people, and Jeff Porcaro that played on that stuff. And there's actually a really good podcast that is started up in recent weeks, Stories in the Room, and it's on YouTube now, and they interview all the people that were in the room when Thriller was being made, and it's fascinating stuff. And that's the stuff that if you're a real Michael Jackson fan, and you can hear them playing their parts, and it's incredible stuff. But yeah, I'm sorry to hear that this guy's had his stuff stolen, but I don't have huge amounts of sympathy if he made it if he made it that easy for somebody to get and throw up on the internet.
So if we come round, Robbie, then you're going to have to search us, make sure we've got no hidden mics on us and things.
Oh yeah. But I have a wand. I do that whole thing like you do at the airports. If you're lucky, I might pat you down personally.
Promises.
No cavity searches, please.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Bend over.
And that's why I'm not coming then.
If he gets a flashlight out, watch out.
Yeah.
Rant, you're muted.
Oh, I'm just going to say I've been riddled with COVID right now, so I'm going to have to crack on to the next segment because I don't know how much longer I can last. So we are going to hit this button. Hopefully it's the right button. It is. Hooray. That's the way to start, isn't it? We are going to do Price Watch because I like Price Watch. I think it's actually pretty cool. And the first cab off the rank is a bit of a scammy price. I like to find some scammy prices.
Putting it mildly.
Now, when you go into Reverb,
love the spelling.
And I've been into Reverb quite a lot lately, as you can tell. And you do type in SP404. This is the one that comes up first, and I'm thinking, what the? And it's actually live. There it is. There, it's live. It's in Australian dollars, but it's live. You can have a look at it. There's all the photos. Now, what's interesting is the photos are in his car. Did he nick it? And is he in the? Is he having a quick getaway?
Literally, I've just stolen this. How much are you going to pay me for it?
Can you give me 5k? Yeah. Anyone got 5k for me? Go on once. Go and try us. There we go.
He hasn't got a laptop there with my.
Probably one of the best ones I reckon I've found lately.
Put over the top. Those rechargeable batteries are very valuable. So
yeah. Now, I did promise Kent that there's going to be some beauties coming through, and none better than the next three. So let's start off with these. These aren't scammy. These are just real nice things that you might want to get your hands on, like the Ace Tone Rhythm Ace FR3. Wow. That is a thing of beauty. Look at it. That thing would have been made so meticulously, probably made by hand. A lot of these things from the 70s.
Probably got Kakahashi's signature,
cheap, right?
So.
Probably.
Cheap?
I mean, they used to plop these things on top of organs so that you could have a bit of a rhythm track happening with it. And yes, it's live.
Looks like it's on top of a Vox Continental.
It does. You might even be able to see it there. Ooh,
yeah.
Can we see
Actually,
it?
that looks like a store, doesn't it? Yeah.
Looks like it's in a store. There's a Synthex. There's a Synthex there. Whereabouts is this one? This is in Italy. There's a lot of cool stuff in Italy. I think we need to get down there. We need to get down there, people.
I'll be there in a couple of months.
Super Continental. There you go.
Oh, Super Continental, right.
There you go. So yeah, Ace Tone. There we go. Next one. Definitely worth checking out. The Seal LX61. Now I had to check out these guys because I had a feeling when I saw the name, I completely forgot about these guys, right? And then I thought, hang on, there's got to be something to do with ARP with these guys because I remember something to do with ARP, and I just couldn't put my finger on it. And I was right. They made a synth string machine. I think they called it the Orchestra. and ARP bought it off them and made the ARP Quartet from the same thing. So it's the same company. These are an Italian company. The Seal LX71. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. It is live too. You can buy this for, geez, it's pretty cheap, $800.
I remember when in the 80s, everyone I knew judged Seal as a company making organs.
They're an organ company.
They did do a few synthesizers, but everyone was thinking organs when they heard the name Seal.
Yeah.
So Seal was not something you saw on stage. You not here, but you saw it in rooms where a grown-up had an organ and tried to play for his family. It was not a musician's instrument in my part of the world. Maybe
I love the fact it's sat on a Leslie.
Yeah.
I love the fact it's sat on a Leslie cabinet.
Yeah. Geez, that thing would weigh like a brick shit house, wouldn't it? Right. What else we got? Next one. The Farfisa Soundmaker.
Farfisa.
Oh, wow. I used to be a massive Farfisa fan back in the day.
3,000 US.
Actually, in Denmark, fart is called fise. So it's it's not a good name.
So basically, it's lots of farts, and that's all it does. Everybody, it makes fart sounds. No, this is a live auction again. What did I say? 3,000 US. So this is basically an organ, really, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. I had a compact duo, and a Matador was the other one. I had a couple of Farfisa organs.
Is that on top of a? Is that an Eminent? What is that on top of? Or is that a Yamaha? That does look like an Eminent type organ.
Actually, it's not only fise, it's also far, it means dad. So dad is farting. It's like saying
it's the sound maker,
each time I hear that.
That's the sound maker. Yes, it's making the sound. Anyway, if you are interested in that stuff, the first one being a bit scammy, the last three being some sort of Italian. I mean, the first one was made in Japan, but it was sold in Italy, and the other two were made in Italy. I just thought they were really, really interesting little bits of gear. And I'll never see them because they're on the other side of the world for me, and Chris as well. Anyone want to make a quick comment about those? But Kent.
I don't think he's here. He's gone.
He is. He's in the chat.
He said that.
Oh, he's in the chat, is he?
Really nice.
Those Italian organs are some of them
synths,
are absolute gems. Others are, throwaway kind of things. But Seal, Krumar, Elka, Farfisa, all of those. Yeah. They're incredibly well built. And some of them have been used on, you'd be surprised where you would hear some of those on some major records back in the day. I didn't buy. I acquired from a free cycle type website an Elka X605, which is a dual manual organ with the proper pedals at the bottom, the bass pedals. Didn't have any legs, so I had to sit it on the floor. Weighed an absolute ton. Had massive handles on the side of it, but it was all cased and everything. And after my plan was to get the legs for it and stick it in the front room and let the kids sort of have at it. But it just took up too much room, so I ended up selling it, and I sold it to a collector in Italy who collected Italian organs. So it went back home, and it only sold for about £100, which I gave to charity. Because I got it from Free Cycle, but the shipping was about 300. But I guess
because they're massive.
They got those things. Yeah, it was huge. I had to pallet it and everything. But lovely thing. It sounded amazing.
Don't give it to Robbie. Can't give it to me. I'll have your Elka.
Yeah. I had both a couple of Farfisa. The compact duo was the first organ I bought, twin manual. That folded in on itself. Great big heavy thing. I bought it because Jimmy Desiree out of Blondie had one.
Yeah.
And I also then bought a Kruma Roadrunner electric piano, which wasn't great, but again was built really well. So that was my first electric piano.
The divide down concept is something that my ears just really love. I love that whole oscillator being divided down, and you can just literally just thumb out so many sounds, and it just sounds so rich. And it really is kind of nice little electronic trick, really, when you think about it, the way that they've invented that. But it just sounds so good. Like, I'm a massive string / organ fan. I'm surprised I actually don't have an organ in this house, because I actually really like them. But I've probably resisted,
especially
because
the
they're so big. Yeah. I'd love to get my hands on like a quartet or something. That would or someone give me a quadrant.
I used to, up until about 3-4 years ago, I had a Viscount organ, again Italian. MIDI, it had MIDI split. It was a single manual, but you could split the manual, and it had a fantastic action. The keyboard action on it was absolutely brilliant. I used to MIDI other synths through it because it felt so good. And it was drawbars as well.
There's a different feeling when you sit behind an organ than when you sit behind a piano than when you sit behind a synth. It's a different feeling. Like you kind of approach it differently. It's weird. I don't know why we do that, but we do it, don't we? We kind of think all of a sudden,
especially when you get the foot pedals.
Someone's come down the aisle or something.
At foot pedals.
I love those foot pedal stuff. What's it? The Moog? Is it the Taurus? The foot pedal?
Taurus?
Yeah.
Taurus.
Taurus is the foot pedals. Yeah.
I had to play with one of those. I don't have one, but I had to play with one, and I think I nearly blew the guy's speakers. The bottom end of those things was so good. It was like, whoa.
It's a Geddy Lee special.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, we're going to probably wrap the show up, guys. It's been awesome having everybody here. Obviously, we're full with nice video guests. We've got everyone who wants to be on StreamYard there. Thanks, Robbie and Chris and Henrik, and Ranzee's there as well. Thanks, Ranzee, in the bottom corner. And here I am, hey! No, thanks, Darren. Thanks for being on the show, mate.
You're welcome. I hope you start feeling better.
Yeah, I do apologise if I sound horrible. It's I probably don't.
You don't sound that bad.
Oh, I can hear myself. It's all nasally.
You sound fine.
Thanks, Mr. Andy. Good to see you again, mate.
Buddy.
Hope you're not too tired. It's not too early in the morning.
Feel better, man.
We'll do.
Sucks being tired, right?
It does. Thanks, Ian.
Thanks very much, and just listen to your body as you get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And thanks to the chatties.
May I say something?
Yeah.
It's a bit early, so
yeah,
I could run a short show
mate.
Afterwards if anyone wants to join.
Go for it.
Hang on, I'll post a link to where it is then.
Yep, you do that. You can chuck it in the chat room, and people can go join that. I do apologise if people do want a longer show, but I just don't have the energy. All the content.
You need to relax, mate. You need to relax, Ranzee.
Yeah.
Just a quick thing, because this was before we left last time. Robbie, did you get your free gift? I'm sure you claimed it.
Yes, I did.
It'll be in December now.
Yes, I did. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you.
Big thanks again to Steve, who sent me the WMD module. That's going to be good fun to play with. Have a bit more of a crack at doing that during the week. And thanks to everyone who's back. I know you were patient with me this early in the year because I kind of had a show, then I didn't. It's been a bit of a rocky start to the year, but 40 odd people turned up. That's pretty good. I can't really complain about that. It's awesome to have everyone back, and I'll be back next week. And on that note, give everyone a thumbs up and say good day. Bye.
Bye, everybody. Bye,
B-side to the track tomorrow, everyone. Thank you.
Bye-bye.